And György Kári is going to talk about building self-brand in esports and how you can become the Cristiano Ronaldo of esports. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I'm György Kári, and yes, we are an agency managing traditional athletes. At least we were, and now we are taking a glimpse at esport. And so that's why today I'm going to talk about personal brands in esport. And when we started off on this journey, we've learned a lot from textbooks, from experience of our colleagues, and of course I'm coming from a marketing background, and so then we tried to apply this as a strategy and structure this kind of knowledge. And so what do we actually do? We realized that in the Hungarian taxation system it is quite hard for individual athletes to find sponsors. And that's why we created a portfolio where we are trying to educate companies how they can relate to sports, how they can include sport in the sponsorship strategy. And we are helping them finding sport influencers, finding or creating creative concepts and so on. And so these companies can learn the importance of the field, they realize who their favorite athletes are, and so on. But this is not enough. This is only a personal feeling of theirs, but they find it hard to define good practices and so on, and that's where we come into the picture. This is the company side, and the other side is that we tried helping the athletes as well, sort of a development path for them to help them grow. And we defined points where there are exact benchmarks or milestones, beginning with helping young talents, supporting them, monitoring them, scouting them, mentoring them, educating them, and then with the help of personal brand building, they can actually have results, measurable results. We also lay a great emphasis on building brands, which will be able to support them once their professional sport career ends. What are we talking about when we are talking about the brand of an athlete? You have to know that in the life of esport, it seems very obvious that everything is going on digitally. In traditional sports, this is a huge challenge. How you can transform original traditional sport club physical systems into digital. And for example, as the social media usage became widespread, it also became widespread that athletes kept in touch with their fans over these platforms. Of course, this is a bigger task for the managers, for the athletes, and for the clubs as well, but this is a more personal, closer, direct relationship to the fans. And as previously Cristiano Ronaldo's, Maradona's, and so on, iconic sportsmen had a following, had a fan base. Now it seems that even a young talent can have a certain number of followers and they can establish a fan base which is measurable. It's also very interesting that athletes, there's a relationship between influencers and sport influencers. it's becoming more and more important. A huge esport player, a good esport player, has a huge following on Twitch, for example, great viewerships and so on. But what does it actually mean that I'm an esport influencer? The Marketing Association talked about this. They had a big discussion whether the sport influencers should be a different category, and we found that we are building in this category based on performance and the fact that they are role models concerning lifestyle, for example, and they convey this kind of lifestyle on a daily basis because they are preparing a lot in competitive sports. And due to this, they are role models and they are special type of influencer, and it comes with responsibility, and it also means special points when it comes to communication. It creates a framework for cooperation. We also established a structure to build up an athlete brand based on our own experience and international research, and we defined that it's very important what kind of performance they have. They should have an appealing appearance, and they have a market-friendly lifestyle. And we have to develop all three of these areas, because we might be a successful sportsman, but we might not have a distinct style, or we might be doing great on Instagram with great pictures, but if we do not have the sportsman performance where companies can join us, connect to us, then it doesn't really matter how many followers we have. And finally, last but not least, how we actually build this branch, what kind of structure we use. This is a process which is very hard to harmonize with the lifestyle of sportsmen because they're preparing for different kind of events. But usually we make them fill out an audit questionnaire where we collect basic value types based on which we can categorize them into a brand archetype. What is a brand archetype? We have 12 of them, characters who represent some type of brand personality. They might have a message which is typical of some kind of activity. For example, IKEA or 7-Up or Coca-Cola or Red Bull, then you immediately have an image in yourself. These are different type of activities, different type of marketing, sponsorship activities, and so we connect sportsmen compared to these, and we find the perfect brand for the given lifestyle. Then we create a more detailed interview about deeper motivation, where we can build given activities on later, what kind of hobbies they have, social activity responsibilities, and so on. We also do trend research, and we take a look at the already covered areas where we can have a niche. We also do a brand workshop where we lay a great deal of emphasis on integrity and authenticity, and then it all comes down to content creation. We are doing videos, photo shoots for them, and we are laying the groundwork based on which we can respond to all kind of press queries and any kind of press activity. It's very important to do this because no matter how successful they are, it's very hard to make them create content during their everyday life. because they are not interested in photo shoots besides their sport activity, and we do what we can before that actually. And we also have an implementation plan based on their racing calendar. We create a communication plan where we include social media activity, and we do this based on their overarching strategy. We are also working together with the Sas Esport Academy, and this, what you heard about traditional sport brand building, is going to be applied to esport activities. Thank you very much for your kind attention.